Well, hello, weird angle I know, but it's a Ford KA. I've only got a gorilla-y tripod-y thing for my phone, and so you are hanging off the door handle of the passenger door, which is fairly low and weird, but there's nowhere else to put anything. It's a tiny egg, and I'm about to tell you why. It's a pretty cool car, and why. And it's Ford KA 2008, old shape, but the newest of the old shape, because they stopped doing them in 2008, I believe, and then it was onto the new shape and the Plus or whatever it was called and all the weird ones, but which I've never drove yet. So this isn't my first Ford KA. Quick update on all that history, but yeah, my first car that I bought myself was a Ford KA, a 53 plate, a black one, very standard, with the standard plastic bumpers and shit. And yeah, no, I don't think it had air conditioning, none of the things. It was very basic, but it was awesome because the only other car I drove up until that point was a Citroen Picasso. And as the car itself, it was really cool. It was my parents' one, and I was just jumping on the insurance because I was a new driver. But yeah, it had all the mod cons, which is kind of crazy. But the clutch on it and the, you know, the accelerator, just all the pedals in general. I don't know if it's a Citroen thing, but I've not really got on with them much since. In general, I've drove a lot of Citroen vans and stuff. But yeah, this was the first car within budget that felt like a real one. Like, because at work I get to drive loads of kind of higher cars and bits like that. So I knew what a nice car felt like. I knew the Picasso was a bit ropey, how it felt to drive anyway. And then yeah, this KA popped up, and it was like a drummer from a band. I forgot everyone's name because my past doesn't exist anymore. I forgot everything. But yeah, it was a drummer from a band we'd played with in the past, and he was selling his sister's car, and I'm sure it was like 300 quid or something at the time. And this was probably like 2018, maybe 2016. So yeah, he brought it round, random on the night. I didn't tell anyone it was happening. And then yeah, drove it for the first time, could test drive around the area, and I loved it. Like, it was just so easy to drive, nice heavy clutch compared to most things, pokey enough, and yeah, just no complaints at the time. So I bought that one, and then some issues cropping up in the end. It was power steering was failing, some of its wishbone bits were like failing too, so it started pulling to the left quite a lot of the electrics just going wrong. And there's not many electrics to go wrong in that particular model, but all the lights behind the dash was dying, all the fan options and speeds were dying, and then yeah, I think fuel gauge was out, speedo was going. It was just a bit of a shame, and the bodywork was going. And then by the time it was coming up to MOT time, and I didn't know a fat lot about cars then, yeah, it started squeaking. It was winter, and then yeah, there was belt squeak, and I didn't know what any of that meant at the time, but I did diagnose it myself as the serpentine belt, I guess, because everything was going wrong. Battery light was flickering on and off, so this is where we started learning about alternators at the time. And then yeah, because the MOT was coming up, I just kind of gave it to a garage, said, please let me know what needs doing for an MOT. Didn't tell them to test it, but this needs doing anyway, the belt. So left it there, and then the bastards MOT'd it, which, you know, went through, I don't think you can reverse that, it's keepsies. So they banged an MOT on it, obviously failed it because there was loads of things I was planning on doing. And then yeah, I didn't have any money at the time to get any of that work done. So what was I supposed to do? Hang on, weird, everyone fucks this roundabout up. Yeah, so I've got a failed car now, and he was trying to tell me at the time it was like £800 worth of work, and the car cost me £300. So I was like, absolutely not. Apparently all the lighting cluster needed replacing, everything needed replacing, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, fucking just give it back then, because I had a day left to drive it. And then just left it at my workplace at the time and let it rot for a while. And then ended up buying, because it was literally at that time, there was a little car fixer-upper place on the yard, and they had this 2008 purple climate edition with the little spoiler on the top window. Only problem, yeah, it was a little bit, it was the rubbishy gay purple, but it was fine. I'm like, it had AC, heated windscreen, electric mirrors, electric windows, all the stuff, which this model has actually. This one doesn't have the spoiler though. Are you seeing me? Good. Oh, I didn't really want to go this way. Oh well, we're just driving, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, so this new purple one, he had it up on his yard for at least a year. Obviously, I was aware of it because I drive past it every day. So, yeah, I think it was up for 1,200 or something at the time. And I ended up nabbing it for, I think, 650, maybe 7, I can't remember. And the same problems again. All the electrics start going on that one in the end, but it was really nice. But that in particular car always had to start on the second attempt. Don't know what was wrong with it. Fuel pump was always fine, battery was always fine, ignition was always, there was just nothing as a clue. So I just stuck with it and it was fine. And then by the time I bought my camper van, that was when I could sell the purple KA, and I actually made a little bit of money on it. And yeah, it was just some old lady from the area. What's going on? And yeah, she bought it and I didn't make a loss. And I think I was driving that for about 3 years. So that was a result. And then yeah, literally I've just had the camper since, I've had work vans since, and then obviously the Morris Minor. And there's BSA Bantam, which I don't think I've mentioned in the channel yet, but that's happened. And hopefully we'll have a lot more exciting updates for that fairly soon. But yeah, so no other cars since. And then, what, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, so my missus's sister's boyfriend was upgrading his car. He just needed a bigger car for family matters and things like that. So was gonna chop this in to buy his upgrade, and obviously the scrap value of everything currently is insanely low, and it's unfair because we're going through this whole scrappage system thing anyway, where, you know, if you were buying a brand new car, you could probably get $3,000 for chopping in an old car like this. But scrap value, when you're dealing with merchants or whatever, yeah, they offered him £150 for it, which was a damn shame because it's got a 12-month MOT, and the major spinner for me is it's KAs exempt because it is a fairly new enough petrol, being 2008, so it's no payments to go to town, cheap to run, fairly cheap insurance, quite extortionate tax. I'm sure it was like more than as much as my van. I can't remember, I'll try and pull it up, but fuck me, that's a sting. But for what you're saving on clean air, I kind of figured it out, like buying the car, insuring it, taxing it, as long as I go to town about 4 times a week, which usually cost me £32 in KAs charges. So let's call it £40 to be honest, because there's always been a spillover past midnight and I'd have to pay to leave town. Well, memory ran out whilst I was driving, but now I'm where I want to be. I can catch you up a little bit on what I missed out on, because I was still chatting shit and I didn't realise the camera had kind of stopped, so gonna have to backtrack. But generally I think I got to, and this one is just fantastic. I like it. It's the Climate Edition, it's a 58 plate, it's the old shape. It just is what it is. No bones about it, mate. It just starts, it gets you where you need to be. It's economical enough on fuel. I don't really notice any issues there. Yeah, no complaints. Couple of issues again with the electrics. I'll show you around now, I won't, because I've got to move it around. There's not a lot of room in here to start moving the camera around as well. So electrics problems so far. The selector for the fan speeds, 3 works, the rest are dead. So that was like this little pin thing, I forgot what it was called, like a resistor, and I did this on the first KA because same problem. And yeah, it's kind of like a load of, I guess, just resistors for different speeds of the fan, and yeah, they start burning out or doing whatever. Maybe they're corroded, who knows, because it was a bit damp in here. So I did a load of like dehumidifying with these bad boys, and I've got to say they work an absolute treat. So if your car ever starts to smell fousty or gets a little bit dank and nasty, then you've got to just buy one of those. They're about £1 each, maybe £2 now, everything's doubled, isn't it? But yeah, one night with that in the car with an air freshener and jobs are good. And so that's solved. The other issues, right speaker was buggered in the driver's door, and eventually, I mean, when I got it as well, the power windows were on and off, whether they'd work or not. And yeah, the whole problem turned out to be the little cable gaiter that goes between the car or the cab and the door itself. But nice and easy fix, because that's like a little DIN plug almost, 15 pins or whatever, and that just twists out, and then you can work from there, replacing bits and bobs from there. So that's all fixed. We've got that, but I have lost passenger window now, which is weird, but I haven't been asked to look at that yet because we're good enough for now. Everything works and we're not worse off, so I'm going to take that as a win. So that's the KA update. It's been really good. I've taken it all over the shop. It's brilliant for dotting around town. It's brilliant on the motorways. It's just fine. It's absolutely fine. It's got me where I need to be. No issues at all. Starts on the button, and yeah, can't complain. So fantastic. This is going to be part of my life now. So have a little look. And basically the idea is to keep it in the family, because to get rid for silly money just because necessity. So we'll keep it in the family. Because his missus needs to start driving, my missus needs to start driving, and it doesn't get any easier or just, you know, nicer than a nice KA as your first car. So we may as well keep it around and look after it. Why not? Because it's really not in bad shape at all. We might get it wrapped though, because paint work, much to be desired now, but it's, you know, nearly 20 years old or whatever. So yeah, getting it wrapped I think is my option, but I haven't priced that up yet. But the idea is there, and the design idea is in our heads. It might just like represent a hobbit hole with a little door on the side and be all grass, who knows, but it's going to be nice. Yo me fumo un fino y te robo el Bugatti, te rompo tu chati, cuando le bajo los panties, la rompo y la mato en el Bugatti, aquí te damos gatti.